All right, here's a little update on this thing. Got all the brake lines ran except for the back. This here, I'm getting ready to form it. Put it in here in this nut right here, and then form it to fit around here. It's running to the back. I've got all the front ran, both sides. You can see part of this one right here. I got to put a clamp on it. And then I've got fuel line ran down from the tank here. It's right here. I got to attach it. The steering's done. I'm going to have to rebuild that box because it's leaking. I've got the gas pedal in, steering column. I made a drop for it. I didn't like the angle it was at, so I tilted it down 1.5 inches here. Put this in here. That gave me a little bit better feel of the steering wheel position. Got the seat mounted for mock-up. Got the fuel tank mounted. All this is for mock-up because it's all got to come back apart when I go get this body blasted. But brake lines on the rear axle ran. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of dark. And here's the brake line coming back here to the back. I've got a bend and form fit, but I'm getting a lot of work done on it. It's amazing how time consuming it is. Now I rebent my shifter for this Ford transmission. It came out here, so bend it over and then back up. So that's first, second, third, overdrive, fourth. I'm not using this steering wheel, it's just for mock-up purposes. We're actually going to put a 40 Ford steering wheel in here. I think it goes with the era. It don't say, the aftermarket ones, you can get them without the Ford logo. And now next is start putting in the dash stuff where we want it, gauges. And next project, maybe this weekend, is putting the battery box back on the firewall. And then pretty much be ready to where I could crank it where I could crank it from, in the frame with the chassis on, with the cap, the body on the chassis. I've got some bulkheads ordered, some weather pack bulkheads ordered for when I start wiring this thing. I'm going to do everything with weather pack, just so it looks good and it's easy to work on later. If you got to take something apart, pull the motor or whatever, you can just unplug stuff instead of having to cut wires or pull everything loose and pull all your wires back through the firewall. It's always a pain. So I'm going to try to do everything with a weather pack plug on the firewall, and then all my connections, like this factory weather pack here, will that'll get used, and then use it for the distributor wires and stuff like that. But everything's turning out pretty good. And after all that gets done, then it's be time to mount the front sheet metal to it and start figuring out radiator. That radiator is too small for this engine. It's a factory replacement for a Willys, but so I got to figure out a radiator and a mount and all that stuff next also. And then once that's done, it's pretty much take it all back apart, pull the body off, and have it blasted and start doing body work. Fun. I'm not a body worker, so might end up having to pay somebody to help on that, but it is what it is. Spread it around, I guess. Anyway, that's the update on it. Now, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a 94 351 Windsor roller cam engine with a aftermarket cam and Mustang 5.0 headers. I like factory headers. They look ugly, but you know, they typically don't leak like aftermarket headers. And then it's a Ford F-150 stick shift transmission, overdrive and fourth, mated to a Dana 20 transfer case that came from out of the Scout that these axles came out of. These are Scout axles, Scout steering box. All the steering geometry is factory Scout. Rear axle's a Scout. There's a locker in the front end. It's peg leg in the back for now until I see how this thing is going to act. I may put a locker in the rear. But for right now, it's short. And my wife's going to be driving this, and I don't want it to swap ends with her in the rain or something like that. So, not that she don't know how to drive. It's just, you know, trying to be safe. Anyway, that's it.